you're never gonna regret leaving. Obviously, do it in a smart way, but first and foremost, if you want to start something your own, it's gonna be a lot of work. But if you've got a good idea, just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? I obviously went into the field because of my own experience. I went into cosmetic surgery or aesthetics because I saw what it did to myself. Like I just, it was life changing. Everything, you just need to be creative, and every day is a learning process. With every single thing you do, you just learn so much. I've learned more in the last year and a half than I've probably done my entire life.
Hi everyone, I'm Camilo Torres, and welcome again to Flow Community Podcast. In here, we're going to have amazing conversation with the beautiful people that has joined our community. We're going to get a lot of inspirations for their life journeys, passions, creations, because we believe that when you share your unique story, you can inspire others. So please enjoy this new episode, and also I would love to invite you to join our community. And if you would like to be part of this podcast, please go to our website, flowwithcommunity.com. Thank you. So please welcome Joëlle Rotsaert. Hi, Joëlle.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being part of the community.
Of course, absolutely. I'm very excited to be here.
And it's a pleasure and excited for sharing your story and to learn from you and from your experiences and everything.
Of course, let's do it.
Yes, perfect. I've been since we met, which was last year.
Which we now remember is Gay Pride.
Gay Pride last year. And then I've been following you on Instagram, and I loved what you're doing with Injectro. You're one of the co-founders. But anyway, I would love to know more about the story behind that. What makes you create that? And what it is, because I say that's the name, but
exactly. So obviously it's like we call it the intelligent injectable studio. So our first and foremost sort of like focus is injectables. Where it comes from is basically I'll just tell a little bit about my backstory and stuff and how I got into there. So I started in the fashion industry, actually. Did fashion, international fashion management in Amsterdam, studied that. And then I was working in a lot of like companies, worked a little bit in Victor and Rolf and stuff in Amsterdam, and worked in a lot of fashion companies. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. I mean, I love marketing, but absolutely hated the industry. You're paid, really shit. Hours are horrible. So, and at the time, I also was transitioning, and I just needed a full break. And then obviously while transitioning, I had a lot of like surgery, did a lot of like medical things. My parents are both doctors. My sister's a plastic surgeon. So there's always that medical influence, surrounding me. And growing up, I always fought against it. But then obviously seeing what it did for me and all the medical interventions and plastic surgery and stuff, and like it literally completely changed my life fully, like day and night. Like after my facial surgery, my confidence went from 0 to 100. Like before that, I didn't dare to go out without a scarf and stuff. So, after that, then I moved. So 7 years ago, I moved to London, and I was like, okay, let me actually explore working in this industry, because also with my sister, we always said, why don't we in the future, do something together? And because she's a plastic surgeon, so I was like, okay, let me explore the field. Started working in it and actually really enjoyed it. It's constantly evolving, cosmetic surgery. There's always new techniques. There's always like new products that are being discovered, new technologies. So, sort of like worked my way up in that industry. We first worked at a company called Harley Academy, which teaches people how to do injectables in a like safe way. And they created something called level 7, which is, at the end of the day, it's like the highest standard with regards to injectables, and it's only for medics. And then afterwards, worked at a company called Cavendish Clinic, and then grew the clinic business there, actually from 2 clinics to 10 clinics. And then we went into John Lewis with injectables clinics. And it's just really, I think it's like amazing to be part of like an industry that's like not just like growing, it's like booming. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like it's obviously a great moment to be in this industry because it's yeah, it's obviously more popular than ever. Technology has never been better, you know. So super interesting. And then obviously while working at Cavendish Clinic, my sister and I sort of like um got our heads together and sort of like thought of the best of something that was still missing on the market, which at the time and still is, in my opinion, was a place that just focuses on injectables.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all, you know, and there are a lot of clinics in London that do everything, but don't do anything particularly well, you know? So you
Don't
either can go,
specialize. Yeah.
yeah, so you can either go to a Harley Street doctor. You'll pay an extortionate amount of money often. Their waiting lists, if they're quite renowned, are like months in advance. So it's not really scalable. So we wanted to we basically wanted to take Harley Street and put it on the high street.
Mm-hmm.
So and so yeah, hence injectable. And the idea is just, yeah, we wanted to create a really nice injectable studio where injectables are safe, you know, done all of our injectors are at a certain level, so everybody has at least 5 years of experience. They're all trained by my sister. They all use the same techniques and products. We kept we're never going to be the cheapest, but we're definitely also not going to be the most expensive. We have
Right.
like we also have a lot of like payment options. So we work with like ClearPay, Klarna, memberships, packages and stuff. So and we just wanted to create a really nice experience around it. So everybody afterwards gets a complimentary LED therapy treatment. Yeah, it's just afterwards we have like, for instance, a tester bar where people can like reapply some mineral makeup, you know, so create a really beautiful experience around it. And yeah, we started a year and a half ago, and it's actually, you know, it's gone from strength to strength. We're very, very lucky with our team. I really like to create a beautiful working environment where everybody just enjoys working as well. I think, you know, as you know, if you create an environment like that, people also just
Mm-hmm.
want to stay there. So and yeah, we're growing the team. We're now also expanding in Shoreditch, so we're gonna do open a second one in
Wow.
Shoreditch. Podcast exclusive. No, no, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, it's actually yeah, we're finalizing everything these days. So so yeah, that's opening hopefully in September. So so yeah, it's great. And then we also recently opened the trans focused side of the business called Transjectual.
Oh.
And because I just wanted to create, you know, at the end, at the moment, it's just sort of like a separate brand that's still done at injectable. But I think it's for trans people, it's really nice to have a place that, you know, focuses on trans issues where you know you'll feel safe, where the practitioners
Mm-hmm.
are actually experienced in trans people. Um, because yeah, often, you know, and like for instance, you know, back in my day, but when I was transitioning, I remember going to laser places and they'd like not want to treat you, you know, or they'd be
Right.
so uncomfortable and like I was, you know, it just yeah, it makes the entire process even more
The experience
yeah,
was no
oh,
as enjoyable if
exactly, you know, and it's already so confronting transitioning, so we just want to make it as enjoyable as possible. And yeah, I'm obviously I'm trying to keep pricing down as much as possible. So I'm now speaking to a lot of like partners and stuff to make it as cheap as possible
Mhm.
for young trans people, because it's an expensive process, you know, to go through. You know, if you want to obviously medically transition, you know, some people are obviously don't. So, but if you want to, it's a very expensive process. That yeah, I just want to democratize as much as possible. But um, but yeah, so that's sort of like where we're at with injectable. So
Wow.
so yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing the story.
of
And I
course.
love that. I love that. I mean, it has first of all you changed your career
Yeah,
and that's so brave
yeah,
and so weird enough. I had a podcast before
yeah,
and we're talking about that like it takes courage,
yeah.
but also we need to tell people that it's okay to change careers
Oh
because
my God, of
sometimes
course.
people they say, okay, no, this is, you study this and you need to
Yeah.
stay there. And then if it's not your passion, well, life is only one to
You
learn.
live only once. No, exactly. I'm completely there with you. And yeah, I have it with a lot of friends that are like in, I'm not gonna call it like dead end jobs, but they don't
Mm-hmm.
like their job, they're not passionate about it. And I'm like, you're never gonna regret leaving. Obviously, do it in a smart way, but first and foremost, if you want to start something your own, it's gonna be a lot of work. But if you got a good idea, just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, obviously, be smart about it. Like, get your finances straight and stuff. But then once you got something that you want to work out, you'll only regret it if you don't do it, right? So, and I think with a lot of things, especially with things like that, if it scares you but it excites you, you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard. Don't get me wrong. Like, being an
Yes.
entrepreneur, it's like, yeah, there's obviously moments, and especially in the beginning stages, there's so much doubt going on. But it's incredibly rewarding. And like growing something, it's like, yeah, it's just the most amazing thing, right? Like now going into the second one, and just like the first
Yeah,
one making it
congratulations.
successful, it's like it's really exciting. And yeah, I'm very proud of it, obviously, but yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
completely get it. And I
So
think, I mean, I'm talking from my own experience as well, because Flow, as we
yeah.
were talking before, Flow, like I am a former architect and
Yeah.
I am now doing podcasts and inspirational platform. So anyway, it's
Yeah.
like completely different. But
Of
yeah, if you
course.
have the passion and if you have the courage, and yeah, try it, and doesn't mean that,
Yeah.
yeah, if it didn't work, well, it's okay as
For
well.
sure. And but I also think you definitely first and foremost find something that you're passionate about, you're genuinely
Mm-hmm.
passionate about. Like obviously with injectables, I just was like, this is a place that I'm missing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it just needs to make sense, I think. And then yeah, obviously speak about it with people as well. Don't take everything on, but often, while speaking about it with people, and they're already looking at you like this is never gonna work. You gather some sort of like, you know what I mean. You adjust certain things, and but you also need a sense of like sort of like self-awareness, to filter out people that don't really matter.
Correct.
But yeah, it's you have to speak to people, because then it also like builds and grows, and so yeah.
I guess the most important person to listen is your inner self, your
Yeah, yeah,
intuition first,
yeah,
and then yeah, receive some feedback is very
yeah,
important, and
yeah.
it's up to you if you wanna take it or not.
Of
So it's,
course.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I was also quite lucky because I did the business together with my sister.
yeah,
And a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I could never do that with my sibling." But I think it works because we have very different specialties, right? So she's a
hmm,
surgeon; she does all the medical decision making and stuff, and I'm obviously business and marketing. And obviously, sometimes that clashes, but you trust your family unconditionally, right? So that's, I think, for a business partner, that's really important. Because there's obviously moments where there's doubt, and then once if things don't go well, then the frustrations are like,
mm,
you start, um how do you say that, you start doing them against each other.
crashing,
Yeah,
and yeah,
exactly. But yeah, at the moment it really works with my sister, because we got very different specialties. So yeah,
great,
and it's lovely. It's really nice to work with your sister.
nice,
So yeah.
nice, well done, and congratulations for your second branch.
Thank you.
So yeah, what you said about, well, injection, and you following your path because of your past
Yeah.
experiences and your journey in life.
Hmm.
Do you think that it's like now what you're doing and your passion, like I guess it's very related of your experiences, right? And then I
Yeah.
love, and by the way, I love what you're doing with injection for trans
Yeah.
people, because I feel like a secure space, the experience that you
Yeah,
had, you wanna uh, do
yeah,
a much better experience
yeah,
for
yeah,
everyone.
exactly.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Um, so sorry, what was the question?
So the question is, do you think that your journey
Yeah, influenced it.
influenced
Yeah, no,
what you
I mean,
created?
absolutely right. I mean, I obviously went into the field because of my own experience. I went into cosmetic surgery or aesthetics because I saw what it did to myself. Like I just it was life changing. But it was literally like along the process, and this is like 10 years ago now. Even more. But back then, obviously things are now sort of like evolving. There's like no now more and more places, but even now it's very hard to find specialized clinics that are just focusing on trans issues.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
yeah, I like I said, I've gone through horrible experiences, where people were so rude or turned me away or were like, we don't want to do that, or like, and it's just, yeah, you already feel so vulnerable, and then
Mhm.
to then go through horrible experiences, it's just, yeah, it's just dehumanizing, it's degrading, and your confidence just goes, you know to a very low point. So yeah, and now I just try to, obviously injectable wasn't necessarily created just for trans people. We have a very diverse audience. I always say, like, our marketing, most clinics in London actually focus on white, cis, heterosexual, older ladies, and we want to focus on everyone else.
Okay.
So we just, yeah, but basically I wanted to, from that experience, just create also transjectual, and help as many trans people as possible, trans and gender diverse people. um and yeah, I really wanted to grow transjectual as well, because at the moment, obviously, our offering is quite limited. We do permanent hair removal, we do non-surgical treatments like filler and Botox. My sister does breast augmentations for trans people, but I really want to find more surgeons, and I'm working on it, that are doing full-on facial feminization surgery or masculinization surgery, bottom surgeries. I really want to build like an amazing team of like surgeons, and we're working on it. We got something really exciting in the pipelines with partners from Belgium, but yeah, um, yeah. I got a couple of things that I'm like obviously working on at the moment. So the injectable too, and then transjectable, grow that. So yeah. Sorry, did that answer the question?
Yeah, I love it, and I mean, you must feel proud, and I
Yeah, yeah,
think the projects that you do with your heart,
yeah.
and that you want to empower people,
Hmm.
that's the best projects, and
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
world needs that.
Yeah, no, and I think the most rewarding, and also just like it's very rewarding, but also like it always like gets to me where like all of a sudden, like young trans girls or guys see me all of a sudden as a role model, and like it's very rewarding. It's like something that I wasn't expecting, but it's lovely. um and it's good to see, trans entrepreneurs. Growing up, I didn't see, I didn't have any trans entrepreneur role models to look up to, so it's good. And and yeah, here we go.
Super inspirational, and
Oh, thank
yes, of
you.
course, like,
It's very kind.
and thank you so much for sharing this story here in Flow, and yeah, so nice. With that, how, so creativity,
Yes.
what helps you? Do you think creativity helps you to create injectional, and also to evolve as
Yeah.
the person that you are at the moment?
Yes. I mean, obviously, creativity, you need some creativity with regards to, as an entrepreneur, you need creativity because
Hmm.
you need creative solutions at all times, it's just, with regards to everything, like with regards to marketing, with regards to building the clinic, with everything. You just need to be creative, and every day is a learning process.
Mhm.
With every single thing you do, you just learn so much. I've learned more in the last year and a half than I've probably done my entire life. And with regards to it's also we got a skincare line, and also just like with regards to that is it's also you really need to be super creative with regards to the packaging, with regards to the formulas, with regards to and it's super super fun, obviously, and like researching new products and like new technologies, and like what can we do, to be innovative, and
Mhm.
um so yeah, it's yeah, every day, yeah, just as like at the moment you just need creativity every single day, but it's great. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I love it. I completely get you because I mean, also me growing with flow,
Yeah,
it's every day something different. I learn something
yeah,
new, and as you said before, it's not easy. Like
no,
some people, and also I love that I have flow to
yeah,
share people's stories because sometimes people see the result
yeah,
and other people say, oh, this was easy, oh, she got it
yeah.
like quick. It's like no,
It's not.
behind the
Yeah,
behind the
yeah, it's
scenes is
not.
very hard.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's yeah, it's very hard. And as much as like I'm telling my story and stuff, I still need regular therapy sometimes, because like, it sometimes gets to you, right? Like, um yeah, and it's often just like the small stuff, and like they always say like don't sweat the small stuff, but the small stuff sometimes builds up and then gets to you. So I'm at the moment also like learning how to deal with things like that, because it's yeah, there's like, a lot of like HR issues and stuff, those things
Mm.
really, you take it to heart. Um, but yeah, luckily we were very lucky with our team. We got amazing injectors. We got a team of like, I actually looked over the website and I was like, oh, we got nine injectors at the moment. So it's yeah, it's grown, and like yeah, it's quite exciting. So yeah,
Congratulations, and
thank you.
I loved it, and I didn't. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is this is very something new, and I'm
Yeah,
learning. And thank you so much for
yeah,
sharing
thank
that.
you. It's actually, we also now we're opening that second clinic. I really want to find people from the community, to I'm now looking for a front of house. I'm like, I really would love to find some, like a young trans person, for instance, that that can also be a safe haven while transitioning
Mhm.
to also work, at a clinic.
That's nice.
Um, because and I hear it from a lot of, even in this day and age, well, in obviously the current climate is not ideal, but some workplaces are really hostile, or um transphobic, or yeah,
Mhm.
all those things. So yeah, that's our next goal, to create a safe space like that, and hire gender diverse or trans people. So yeah, so
That's
if you know
nice.
anybody that's an
So
apply,
yeah, and
yeah.
my next question: where can people find you, and where can people reach for your clinic? And
Yeah, I mean, so injectable.com or transjectable.com. And yeah, there's all the contact information. HR, there's also an HR email in the career section for injectable, for instance. So apply here.
perfect, thank you. Great, thank you so much. So to end this
Yes.
podcast, I'd like to ask you three quick
Yeah,
questions.
go for it.
That you can answer with one word or one sentence.
Okay.
So the first one is what is creativity for you?
So what is creativity? Um, so creativity for me is just, yeah, the creative thinking, and that entire process, and yeah, building something from scratch,
Mm.
that to me is creativity. And also just like the flexibility, um to go along with when problems arise. So Does that answer it?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
love it. Second one.
Okay.
What is your current creative expression?
My current creative expression is most, I mean, obviously being an entrepreneur, that is
Mm-hmm.
my creative expression. And like I said, at the moment we're like looking at expanding the skincare line, looking at products, formulations, doing that. And then also the interior for the second clinic, that's also like, my
Nice.
creative expression at the moment. It's really, really fun building it together with an architect, looking at the materials, the different sofas, the different fabrics, the different, textures, and all of that, making that work and fit the concept and stuff is obviously like, it's a lot of fun. Um, an expensive, an
And
expensive hobby, but yeah, it's obviously yeah, super, yeah, it's just a fun process, you
yeah,
know.
nice. Love it.
So
Love
yeah.
it. That's great that you're in the interior design work as well.
Well, exactly. I have some questions. Maybe
Yeah.
we need to talk after this. Exactly.
Don't
Um,
worry, I'm here to help.
okay,
And
great.
the last one is what flow means for you. Flow
Yes,
as the word.
as the word. I mean, so for me, it just means, like going with the flow, and I think in life, I I really believe in like going with the flow because I feel like, there's often like signs sort of like everywhere. For me, it meant going to flow, for instance, like while transitioning, going through a lot of surgery, and then like seeing what it did to me, and like, you know what I mean. There's always, and my sister being a plastic surgeon, and moving to London, and like starting out and seeing if I liked it, and just everything like that, sort of like for me, flowed, and I'm just going with the flow, and seeing where it takes me, and yeah, and through life, at the moment I like to just like with any opportunity, well, to a certain extent, just always say yes to everything because I think yeah, you there's never you will never regret saying yes to some new experience or new things to explore. So yeah, that means flow to
Love
me.
it. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Love it. And then you're in an amazing place, and I'm sure you're going to be in an even better place if you let it flow
Oh,
as
thank
well.
you.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where flow will go as well. It's very
Thank
exciting.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. Thank you very much, Jolie. It's been amazing.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you for
for
having
sharing.
me.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye.
Bye.